Norfolk Tower, November 123 Alpha Zulu, holding short runway 32, ready for departure. And Norfolk Tower, November 123 Alpha Zulu, we were advised to take off via runway 32. Please advise. Norfolk Tower, November 123 Alpha Zulu, we are currently holding short per instructions, runway 32. We are now being advised to take off on runway 14. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Flying Doghouse, and we are having a bit of shenanigans with Sayintentions AI's ATC. We've gotten our clearance. We taxied to runway 32. And they've told us that we are supposed to take off on runway 14 now, so we have a glitch. But we're going to get a number to call so that you can see what that's like. So we're going to go ahead and depart. All right, our altimeter is already set. We are not on live weather tonight because there is a nor'easter going up the eastern seaboard. And we're on our takeoff roll. And rotate. You're coming up. One, 2, 3 Alpha Zulu is turning to heading 135. And ATC is going to keep me busy tonight, which is good. What do we got? And I did have that set correctly before we taxied. Not sure what happened there. Altimeter 29901, 123 Alpha Zulu. Okay, I think we've got our situation situated here. Norfolk departure 123 Alpha Zulu, requesting altitude at our discretion. Please advise. Altitude at our discretion, 123 Alpha Zulu. Good day. All right, so we're going to make our way up to Maryland Eastern Shore. And with the temporary flight restriction, I'm going to assume VIP movement means Air Force One must be out and about. All right, we'll get our situation situated here. This flight path is going to take us over the top of Norfolk. And we'll have quite a few handoffs here, but I did pick a different destination for us. We are going to make our way up into the Maryland Eastern Shore. And if you haven't experienced any of that scenery, tonight's live stream's your opportunity. Welcome aboard. And get our aircraft trimmed out here. We're a mess. And we're getting there now. All right, there we go. All right, I do think we've got stabilized here. Enjoy some of the scenery. All right, making our way over to waypoint number 1 here. Okay, so we're going over the top now, I guess, of Oceana. Or is this Norfolk? Norfolk departure 123 Alpha Zulu. We were cleared. Altitude at our discretion. Please advise. Norfolk departure number 123 Alpha Zulu, requesting again altitude at our discretion. Traffic in sight, 123 Alpha Zulu. All right, so we'll make our way up here, heading now toward Newport News. All right, so let's go ahead and get our heading bugs situated here. All right, I don't think I mentioned it, but I am using Sayintentions tonight. All right, got autopilot engaged here. And we're going to go ahead and start making our turn to the northwest. All right, so we are just to the north of Newport News. We have got a lot of chatter tonight on Sayintentions, which will definitely keep me on my toes. And I'm going to turn off sharing my audio. Save a little bit of bandwidth here. All right, so we are now coming over the top of Newport News, Virginia. And we're making our way up the James River. Let's see what comms we got. I had live multiplayer global on, so that was why we were getting chatter from everywhere. So I cut that off. Anywho, give you a little bit of a flavor for what that is like. But we're back in the friendly confines of the Cessna 414 tonight. Be curious to hear about what you have been up to in the sim, what you've picked up in the marketplace. I've been busy this week. I picked up the Huey UH-1 and also the B-17 from Microprose. So, been messing around with that. And I have started working on scenery projects again. So, got a couple in flight right now. So, got one that's pretty close to release over in France. Just started working on Cherry Point Naval Air Station, and I'm also working on a Coast Guard station too. So we'll be busy. And we do have a aircraft review video that's ready to be released. So we're going to schedule that for end of the day tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that. Traffic inside at our 12 o'clock, 123 Alpha Zulu. Understood, 123 Alpha Zulu. All right, so if you just joined the live stream, we are well on our way now to our destination tonight. We are traveling from Norfolk, and we're going to end up in the Maryland Eastern Shore at Easton Newman. This is one of the airports that I picked that's sort of off the beaten path here. So we are. All right, so we're just going to make our way up to the Maryland Eastern Shore. Going to enjoy the scenery. Let's jump outside the plane. And we could talk about sim things while we look at the scenery. All right, so I did pick up the Boeing B-17 from Microprose. Obviously, this is a not complete product. They announced it as such. Got it at a discount. So looking forward to the first update. Obviously, there are some things that aren't modeled yet. There are some things that don't work yet. But I've been waiting for this one for a long time. So still in the process of setting up my custom cameras and all that happy stuff. So that's been fun. The other aircraft that I picked up this week is the Togue's Hangar Huey UH-1. It is outstandingly fun. So a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have had anything to do with any helicopter, and now I'm really enjoying them quite a bit. So I have a couple of people either to thank or to blame for that. So they know who they are. All right, so we're making our way. Go ahead and turn again harder to the north and to the east. Welcome to Williamsburg, colonial capital of Virginia. It's a lovely place. The historic area in Williamsburg is just totally charming. So if you haven't done that, there's a good tourist opportunity for you. It's quite fun. And the wife and I have done that a couple of times. Perhaps we'll have the opportunity to do that again together. All right, so now we're on about a 32 nautical mile leg here as we make our way back to the northeast, heading toward the Chesapeake. And the Rappahannock River. There's a mouthful. All right, the distance for the flight tonight is 138 nautical miles. rough time estimate was about an hour 10. It took us forever to taxi, but I believe we started the live stream right on time. So, at any rate, looks like stream health tonight is good. Hopefully, volumes and such are good. And if you're not watching live, hope you enjoy the replay. So let's see what else is going on in the sim world here. Couple of things from, I guess, a developer update this week from Microsoft. One, the Red Bull Air Racing module will be available to us in December. So if you enjoyed that in previous iterations of the sim, that is coming to you soon. The next famous flyer number 13 is the T-38 Talon jet trainer. It's currently in development. Blackbird Simulation has already shown a live demo, so we have that to look forward to. Looks like we also have free access to the Boom XB1 supersonic jet, which I think is cool because there's some work being done here in North Carolina at Boom Aviation, so that's cool, good stuff. So there we go. What else? What else would we talk about? I still have not had the chance to check out the scenery in Japan, so I want to do a group flight and host that and go check out some of that stuff. Testing currently underway with the PlayStation 5 beta, so if you have a PlayStation, there you go. And beta build 1.6.13.0 of Flightsim 2024 update 4 is now live, and they're working on some scenery type issues. So there we go. I think that gets us current in terms of what's going on the Microsoft side of the village. Let's see what's going on over here on Flightsim.to as we continue to make our way. What else have we got? New and improved. New for all the kids. Let's see. Just having a scroll down here. Well, it looks like some liveries are now starting to creep out with the YS-11 that was recently released. So there is a Japanese Air Self-Defense Force livery available. November 123 Alpha Zulu frequency change. Norfolk departure, November 123 Alpha Zulu is with you. Altitude currently 1,000 feet, and we are approximately 5 nautical miles to the north of Williamsburg. Final destination today in Maryland Eastern Shore. Shackleford altimeter 29901, November 123 Alpha Zulu. Good day. Back over to the plan. 29901 is what we have on the altimeter, so we're good. Oh, they just changed it to 2909. There is a nor'easter moving up the eastern seaboard coast. We are continuing to sojourn on track. We are dead on our planned magenta line here as we continue to make our way across eastern Virginia. Flight path today will take us well outside of any of the restricted airspace around the Washington, D.C. area. Although we did get a temporary flight restriction warning on departure out of Norfolk for a VIP. So I'm going to take a wild guess at either Air Force One or Air Force Two was up to something. But there we have that. So, at any rate, what else do we have? Go back over to Flightsim.to. All right, so I mentioned the Self-Defense Force livery. Quite a few sceneries. Oh, yeah. Chico Mick has released RAF Basingbourn. It's a 1943 rendition of that airfield. Perfectly timed for the B-17s. So there is a version for 2024, and they have also released a version for 2020. They might want to go check that one out. See if I see anything else. Oh, looks like we've got some scenery updates happening over in the Normandy section of France. Normandy British Memorial from Drode. I'm saying that right. That developer's Normandy scenery is outstanding, so that one's definitely worth a check out. I'll have to download that update. And I'm also seeing, even more YS11 liveries, which is good stuff. Well, looks like the B-24 Liberator repack has been updated again. I'll have to go back and check that one out. I found the original iteration of that one to be less than. And if you have, speaking of freeware, that is good. The Avro Anson, the Mark I, you need to go check that one out. That was from DSD Simulations. That was released about 3 weeks ago. Easy for me to say. So might want to go check that one out. I think that's it for what we've got on Flightsim.to at the moment. I'll be releasing the airfield in France hopefully in the next 10 days or so. We need to do some final QA on that, and we'll be pushing that out the door. That will give us a nice emergency landing field for B-17 shenanigans on group flights. So there we go. We'll endeavor to do that. Okay, so we are still continuing to make our way to the northeast. So this flight path is going to take us to the east of Fredericksburg, and then we'll make a harder turn to the northeast, and we'll be avoiding the Washington, D.C. area. November 123 Alpha Zulu, frequency change. Toxic departure, November 123 Alpha Zulu is with you 1,000 feet, approximately 15 nautical miles south of, trying to give you or 15 nautical miles north of Gloucester. Altimeter 29901, 123 Alpha Zulu. Good day. Okay, so we passed over waypoint number 4. And we can change some camera angles here, get a little bit more appreciation for the scenery. Taking a little bit more of a low altitude approach to tonight's flight, just to do something a little different. And we are using Sayintentions. We are flying the Cessna 414 again from Flightsim.to. It's a great aircraft. If you don't have it in your hangar, you need to grab it. It's awesome. All right, we are continuing to just roll along. So this particular flight path routed us around a number of restricted airspace areas. So we won't have any numbers to call with respect to that. This will take us over, at least in the proximity of Leonardtown. We're in Westmoreland County right now and making our way. And I try to mention this piece of software on the live streams, but if you're not using little nav map, runs on PC, it works great. It's freeware. It should be payware. Spend a bit of time in it, planning group flights and some of that kind of stuff. But it's very, very well done. So I'm going to check that out. And if you haven't been using Sayintentions, there's a 24-hour free trial available. And I am not sponsored. I am just a happy paying customer. So take that for what it's worth. The Benjamins fly out of my wallet to fund this particular part of Flight Sim. And quite frankly, I will not be without it. I did notice that they were getting ready to implement a slight price increase, but they continue to add features and functions. And AI infrastructure is not getting cheaper at the moment. So there we have that. Doo-ba-doo-doo-doo. Oh, excuse me. So the other thing I'd let folks know that are watching the live stream, or if you watch the replay of the live stream tomorrow before 1900 UTC, I am hosting a group flight over on Virtual Flight Online, and we will be in Alaska. So we are going to do some island hopping. So we'll be making our way out of Cold Bay. So I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm going to be using the de Havilland Beaver tomorrow for that particular flight. Either that or the Kodiak 100, one of the two. So I'm expecting folks to show up in a helicopter or a float plane or any combination there too. At any rate, if you're looking for a place to participate in group flights, that's a great place to do it with a great group of folks. Boom, boom. All right, we can go ahead and start making our sharper turn here to the northeast. And again, this particular flight path is taking me just to the east of those restricted areas that I mentioned. So. And true to their word, Sayintentions has implemented temporary flight restrictions, as I found out on my departure out of Norfolk. But there we go. That's good stuff. It looks like our bandwidth continues to be good for the live stream tonight, which is not necessarily always the case. And if you have just joined the live stream, we are en route to our final destination of Easton Newman. We departed Norfolk probably about an hour ago. We're a good 3/4 of the way through the live stream tonight. We'll be making our way over into the Maryland Eastern Shore. We are using Sayintentions, so we'll have some more comm exchange coming up. But glad you joined the live stream. So welcome if you're here. Welcome if you are watching the replay as well. And we are in the Cessna 414 as per usual. Not always, but per usual. And this is Flightsimware's iteration of this aircraft. It is outstanding. I sound like a broken record. It's probably, if I had to pick one in the sim, this is probably my favorite GA plane. And we get to play, the new flavor of the day, right? Just like everybody else. So we are making good progress in terms of making our way up the East Coast. So my intention is to, once we finish with the East Coast leg, is to then turn to the west and make our way across the Great Lakes regions. And we may switch up aircraft to do that one. I'm not sure yet. I use the Piper Dakota. I like that airplane too. So we'll mix it up. Part of that journey might warrant, some float plane activity or an amphibious plane. So we'll see how that goes. I did mix in the new Cessna 172. Continue to enjoy that. And I'll just briefly mention, I did have a couple of folks mention to me in the video review that I did of the Draco 10. They were having issues getting the aircraft started. And following my original checklist, I have to concur. I'm having issues getting it started as well. So if you're experiencing that, let me know. I may try uninstalling and reinstalling the plane. So if I can get that particular part of it fixed. All right, where are we at? We are still making our way across. We're in the Eastern Shore here in a few minutes. This will take us to the southeast of Annapolis, Maryland. At any rate, I had originally scheduled this particular live stream earlier in the week, and unfortunately under the weather, so I had to put it off until today. So and we have the weather. That's an awfully official way of letting the tower know that you checked ATIS. With the student pilot settings turned on and Sayintentions. At any rate, it can be very intimidating getting started with either talking with a human being in VATSIM or even interacting here. It takes a bit of practice to sort of ingrain the responses and the actions that you need to take based on the communications you're getting. And you definitely need to be paying attention and making your radio frequency changes. It helps prevent what I call tearing around with your hair on fire syndrome in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And there are quite a few who abundantly enjoy that approach to to the experience. And I'll just leave it at that. Anywho, meanwhile, back in the 414. All right, here we go. Making our way across the bay now. Quite impressive body of water, for sure. And unfortunately, not a whole lot of scenery to see right at the moment. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. November 123 Alpha Zulu, frequency change. Patuxent departure, November 123 Alpha Zulu with you, 1,000 feet. Altimeter 29901, 123 Alpha Zulu. I always enjoy watching gamer tags. Tonight's favorite so far is NC Mid Crisis. So I'm going to guess that's midlife crisis or in the middle of a crisis. I guess it could be either, eh? November 123 Alpha Zulu, frequency change. Toxic departure, November 123 Alpha Zulu is with you 2 nautical miles to the east of Tillman Island, making our way to final destination tonight at Easton 123 Alpha Zulu. Kilgman, altimeter 29901, 123 Alpha Zulu. Good day. All right, since I didn't have global chatter turned on now, it's the radio comms have fallen off quite a bit. Of course, it's also now 9:19 in the evening Eastern time here in the U.S. And we're on the East USA server tonight. Since I have, we do have folks popping in and out of the live stream, I'll just mention that we do have a group flight scheduled tomorrow at 1900 UTC over on Virtual Flight Online. And we'll be in Alaska. Should be fun. Looking forward to it. All right. Make a turn here. Do, 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 do. All right, we're going to come off of autopilot. Get our situation situated here. We're well inside the feathers, so we are going to make our way. We'll talk to Newman or Easton Tower. Easton Tower, good morning. November 123 Alpha Zulu is with you with requesting clearance to land. Right, downwind runway 33, 123 Alpha Zulu. All right, we'll go back into the cockpit here and get our situation situated. Well, we can go ahead and drop gear, get some flap. And we'll concentrate here on aviating on the way in. So, truth in advertising. This is one that I have not flown into. Again, I picked it because it was off the beaten path here. Of course, it's not off the beaten path if you live here, right? Everything is relative. But for me, I have not really spent a lot of time flying in this part of Maryland. So, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this cross country. It's really to give me an excuse to go from point A to point B and stop and rinse and repeat. Okay, so Easton over off of our 9 o'clock. We'll go ahead and turn a bit out here to more to the east. Stay away from the cell phone tower off our 11 o'clock. All right, so we just crossed Maryland State Highway 322. And I think we've got winds 283 at 2 knots. All right, if you've just joined us, we are finishing up our live stream. We're almost on finals here at Easton Airport, Newman Field. And we are in the Maryland Eastern Shore. We departed tonight from Norfolk. We're currently making our way in. Looks like we're now starting to see some fall tree colors. Eastern Tower 123 Alpha Zulu, airfield in sight. Wind 050 at 8, runway 33, clear to land 123 Alpha Zulu. All right, we will turn finals here. And there we go. Oop, there it is. All right, airspeed should be fine. Go ahead and get some flap here. And we will make our way in. There are 650 feet. 600. 550. 500. 450. 400. 350. 300. Yeah, Pappy lights are good. Decision height. 200. 150. 100. 70. 60. 50. 40. And we are down. Welcome to Eaton. Or Easton. Easy for me to say. Welcome to Easton. Contact ground here. Easton ground 123 Alpha Zulu, request taxi to general aviation parking. Park stand 38 via Foxtrot. Have a great day. 123 Alpha Zulu. All right. There we have it. Another cross-country live stream in the books. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Make a comment. All those fun things help the channel continue to grow, and we are growing. We are appreciative of that. Hopefully you enjoyed the flight. Thanks for being along. As always, I hope everybody is keeping well. And until next time, cheers, y'all.